BNB spoilers, is it too late for Luna to change? The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers have fans all asking the same question: is it too late for Luna Nozawa, Lisa Yamada, to change? Keep reading below for everything you need to know. Is it too late for Luna to change? When it comes to Luna, it seems like both fans and critics of the show are just completely over the character. And that's not just because she's pregnant with Will Spencer's Crew Moro baby and making life a living hell for everyone. It's also because she's smug and she thinks that she can get away with everything. Not only that, but Luna truly believes that she can turn things around in her favor, despite the fact that no one in the Spencer family wants anything to do with her. After all, she is a complete psycho. Of course, BNB fans had a lot to say about the matter on social media. Some even commented with, "I really can't help it. Maybe because I grew up in an unstable home. I knew more than anything I wanted a stable home when I grew up. Not that I was willing to word or murder to get it." What's next for Luna? I know it's all fake, but in the previews she sees Will and Elektra getting that and my heart just hurts for her. Another critic wrote, "I'm all for a great redemption arc and rag to riches story, but Luna is not worthy of that. However, this girl has fumbled the bag way too many times of having a promising future in spite of her childhood and the crimes she has committed, and she chooses to continue to live her life by the sword. I can't feel sorry for someone who keeps choosing not to overcome their troubles." And then there was this comment as well: "I know people who have had a rough upbringing and they came out the other side strong. Luna is mentally unstable. She's a psychopath. How can you feel bad for someone who murdered 2 innocent people, raped a man, framed her mother for murder, kidnapped her brother Hayes' teacher, tried to kill her stepmother, Steffi, twice, shot Liam, shot Sheila, and got her cellmate to beat her twice in an attempt to get out of prison? Luna is beyond therapy. She needs to be locked up either in prison or an asylum for the rest of her life. She's completely delusional." Needless to say, the Bold and the Beautiful fans will simply have to tune in each and every day to find out what will happen next. The Bold and the Beautiful airs weekdays on the CBS network. Check your local listings for times. In the meantime, let us know what you think by leaving us a line with your thoughts in our comments section below. The air in Los Angeles, even amongst the glittering facades of Forrester Creations and Spencer Publications, is heavy with a profoundly sad finality. What began as a complex, often maddening villain arc has reached a truly devastating conclusion. The recent episodes of The Bold and the Beautiful have delivered what many are calling the most tragic twist of the season: the reported death of Luna Nozawa. This is not just a standard soap opera shocker, it is a seismic event that has left the Forrester, Spencer, and Finnegan families reeling. The central tragedy, however, lies not just in the loss of a young life, but in the agonizing, unanswerable question that echoes through every scene of grief and recrimination: is it too late for Luna to change? The final, fatal mistake. The dramatic events leading to this sad news have played out with agonizing intensity. Having already been declared dead once, Luna's escape from jail was a last, desperate, and ultimately fatal act. Driven by a dangerous, delusional obsession with Will Spencer, which recent spoilers confirmed was the motivation for her last, ill-fated decisions, Luna was on the run, a runaway train with no brakes. The final, heartbreaking details provided by Deputy Chief Baker confirmed the horror. Luna, emotionally unstable and fleeing authority, ran out into moving traffic and was fatally struck by a vehicle. Compounding the tragedy, Baker also confirmed that Luna had suffered a miscarriage. This brutal intersection of loss, the loss of her life and the loss of her unborn child, a baby whose paternity had only recently been confirmed to be Will Spencer's, has created an unimaginable depth of pain for all involved. For a character who, at one point, seemed to possess a shred of innocence, this end is a grim testament to how far she fell. Her journey from a seemingly sweet new face at Forrester Creations to a calculating criminal responsible for murder, assault, and a myriad of lies, was a rapid and terrifying descent. Echoes of grief and guilt, the family fallout. The news of Luna's death has created a starkly divided emotional landscape across the canvas: relief for those she terrorized, and a complicated, agonizing grief for those connected by blood. The Spencer family's traumatic relief. For the Spencer family, particularly Will and his parents, Katie Logan and Bill Spencer, the news is a trauma wrapped in relief. Will Spencer will forever be scarred by the intense emotional manipulation and violence he endured. Luna's obsession with him, and her willingness to commit crimes to tie herself to him, was an emotional assault. The idea that his child is also gone adds a layer of complex mourning to his relief that the nightmare is finally over. Katie Logan and Bill Spencer were united in their parental instinct to protect their son. They were preparing to fight for custody of the child, a battle that is now rendered moot. Their reaction is one of immense sadness for the life lost, but an undeniable sigh of relief that their son is safe and their family unit can begin to heal. Bill's blunt assessment that it's time for the Spencers to move forward and close this chapter speaks volumes about the level of fear Luna had instilled in them. The Finnegans' agonizing connection. For the Finnegan family, the pain is more immediate and genetic. Finn Finnegan lost a daughter he barely knew. The realization that he had a troubled child, and that by the time he found out it was too late to help, breaks his heart. He struggles with the weight of that missed opportunity, the sense that Luna needed a father, and he had no idea. Steffi, who has been on the receiving end of Luna's cruelty, is left to support her husband through this profound, complicated loss. Poppy Nozawa's reaction is perhaps the most shocking and visceral. She initially expresses a jarring sense of being glad Luna is gone, admitting that her daughter had been dead to her a long time due to her evil deeds. While she defends her love for her child, her inability to help her, and the ultimate relief that Luna can no longer hurt anyone, paints a picture of a mother utterly destroyed by her daughter's destructive path. Li Finnegan and Sheila Carter, Luna's two grandmothers, also react with complicated emotions. Lee, who once desperately tried to protect and reform Luna, is devastated. Even Sheila, the family's resident villain who found a disturbing connection with her granddaughter, grapples with the loss, acknowledging she loved Luna despite not condoning her behavior. The lingering question, was change ever possible? This is the core of the tragedy, the haunting question that gives this storyline its sad and engaging power. Was it too late for Luna to change, or was she simply incapable of change? The character's descent was rapid and total. Initially presented as an innocent young woman, Luna became consumed by dark impulses. Her own actress, Lisa Yamada, revealed that the writers took the character in a direction she never anticipated. Evidence against change. The spoilers and recaps paint a grim picture for the possibility of change argument. Delusional fixation. Even after being incarcerated, Luna's primary focus was an escape plan designed to reconnect with Will, showing no remorse for her previous crimes. Lack of accountability. She repeatedly lied, manipulated, and endangered others, and when confronted, her reaction was to double down on her destructive behavior. Final act of recklessness. Her last decision, to escape and flee into the street, was not a moment of clarity or repentance, but one of desperate, self-destructive action, indicating her mental state was beyond the reach of rational help. The tragedy of the untaken path. And yet, in the world of a soap opera, the idea of a lost soul's redemption always holds a certain tragic allure. What if she had stayed in jail? Could time, therapy, and distance from the high-stakes world of Forrester Creations have eventually cracked the facade of the lunatic persona, revealing the troubled young woman beneath? Finn had found her sooner? Could a bond with her biological father have offered the stability and love she craved, redirecting her from her path of obsession and destruction? The miscarriage hadn't happened? The life of her child could have been the one tether to humanity she desperately needed, a reason to accept help and fight for a life of purpose. The sad news is that the bold and the beautiful chose the bleakest answer. It was too late. Her life ended as a fugitive, her potential for change tragically extinguished in a moment of panic and delusion. The aftershocks continue. Luna's story may be over, but its devastating aftershocks are only just beginning to ripple through Los Angeles. The killer's confession. The person who hit Luna, identified as Dylan, has tearfully confessed to Elektra, Finn, and Steffi. Finn's decision to question Dylan and search for clarity in his daughter's final moments will be a powerful and emotional journey for him. Corporate turmoil. The fallout extends beyond the personal. Rachel Brooks' decision to bring in an outside PR firm following the Luna fiasco has alienated Katie Logan, setting up a potential new power struggle as Bill encourages her to return to Spencer Publications. The unholy alliance, the tragedy briefly united enemies, with Lee and Sheila initially bonding over the state of their granddaughter. However, with Luna gone, their relationship is destined to revert to conflict, perhaps over how to honor her memory, or how to handle the lingering secrets and guilt. A sad farewell to a cautionary tale. Luna Nozawa's tragic end serves as a dark, high-engagement cautionary tale for the residents of the bold and the beautiful. She was a character who tested the limits of forgiveness, a villain who, in her final moments, revealed a vulnerability that makes her loss all the more gut-wrenching. Her death is a reminder that in the high-stakes world of love, family, and ambition, the choice between light and darkness can have permanent, fatal consequences. For the Spencers, it's a painful chapter closed. For Finn, it is an open wound of a relationship that never was. And for the audience, it is a sad farewell to a troubled character whose redemption, sadly, was a bridge too far, the evidence against change. The spoilers and recaps paint a grim picture for the possibility of change argument. Delusional fixation. Even after being incarcerated, Luna's primary focus was an escape plan designed to reconnect with Will, showing no remorse for her previous crimes. Lack of accountability. She repeatedly lied, manipulated, and endangered others, and when confronted, her reaction was to double down on her destructive behavior. Final act of recklessness. Her last decision, to escape and flee into the street, was not a moment of clarity or repentance, but one of desperate, self-destructive action, indicating her mental state was beyond the reach of rational help. The tragedy of the untaken path. And yet, in the world of a soap opera, the idea of a lost soul's redemption always holds a certain tragic allure. What if she had stayed in jail? Could time, therapy, and distance from the high-stakes world of Forrester Creations have eventually cracked the facade of the lunatic persona, revealing the troubled young woman beneath? Finn had found her sooner? Could a bond with her biological father have offered the stability and love she craved, redirecting her from her path of obsession and destruction? The miscarriage hadn't happened? The life of her child could have been the one tether to humanity she desperately needed, a reason to accept help and fight for a life of purpose. The sad news is that the bold and the beautiful chose the bleakest answer. It was too late. Her life ended as a fugitive, her potential for change tragically extinguished in a moment of panic and delusion. The aftershocks continue. Luna's story may be over, but its devastating aftershocks are only just beginning to ripple through Los Angeles. The killer's confession. The person who hit Luna, identified as Dylan, has tearfully confessed to Elektra, Finn, and Steffi. Finn's decision to question Dylan and search for clarity in his daughter's final moments will be a powerful and emotional journey for him. Corporate turmoil. The fallout extends beyond the personal. Rachel Brooks' decision to bring in an outside PR firm following the Luna fiasco has alienated Katie Logan, setting up a potential new power struggle as Bill encourages her to return to Spencer Publications. The unholy alliance. The tragedy briefly united enemies, with Lee and Sheila initially bonding over the state of their granddaughter. However, with Luna gone, their relationship is destined to revert to conflict, perhaps over how to honor her memory, or how to handle the lingering secrets and guilt. A sad farewell to a cautionary tale. Luna Nozawa's tragic end serves as a dark, high-engagement cautionary tale for the residents of the bold and the beautiful. She was a character who tested the limits of forgiveness, a villain who, in her final moments, revealed a vulnerability that makes her loss all the more gut-wrenching. Her death is a reminder that in the high-stakes world of love, family, and ambition, the choice between light and darkness can have permanent, fatal consequences. For the Spencers, it's a painful chapter closed. For Finn, it is an open wound of a relationship that never was. And for the audience, it is a sad farewell to a troubled character whose redemption, sadly, was a bridge too far. The calendar turns, but the crypto world's memory is long. Today, as network updates are pushed and community burns continue, a profound sadness hangs over the remnants of what was once one of the most ambitious projects in decentralized finance, Terra Luna. The question is no longer about reaching a new all-time high, it's a desperate plea for relevance. Is it too late for Luna, LUNC and Luna 2.0 to change its fate? The very existence of this question is the sad news. It confirms that the project lives perpetually in the shadow of its catastrophic $40 billion collapse in May 2022. It is a crypto Frankenstein, stitched together by the sheer force of a devoted community, yet constantly facing the existential terror of its own creation, an astronomical supply of tokens, and the dark legacy of its founder, Do Kwon. This is not a simple market analysis, it's an autopsy of ambition, a study in collective hope, and a sobering look at whether a brand name, once synonymous with a death spiral, can ever truly be reborn. Inescapable weight of the past, the $40 billion ghost. To understand the sadness today, we must first confront the tragedy of yesterday. The 2022 collapse of Terra UST, and its sister token, the original Luna, was not just a market correction, it was a systemic failure that sent seismic shocks across the entire crypto ecosystem. The flawed promise, the Terra ecosystem was built on an algorithmic stablecoin, UST, which relied on Luna to maintain its $1 peg. The mechanism was elegantly simple. If UST dipped below $1, you could burn it to mint $1 worth of Luna, and vice versa. The fatal flaw, this system only worked as long as the market was stable. When a mass withdrawal from the high-yield Anchor protocol occurred, UST lost its peg. The algorithm tried to compensate by minting an ever-increasing supply of Luna, creating a hyperinflationary death spiral. Luna's supply exploded from a few hundred million to 6.5 trillion in days. The contagion, the wreckage was vast, causing over $400 billion in losses across the broader crypto market and directly leading to the bankruptcy of major industry players like Celsius, Three Arrows Capital, 3AC, and, ultimately, FTX. This is the original, profound sadness. Millions of investors, the lunatics who believed in the project's vision, saw their life savings wiped out. The specter of this loss, the $40 billion ghost, is the baggage that the current Terra Classic, LUNC, and new Terra, Luna 2.0, tokens must carry every single day. Balance scale the legal dark cloud, Do Kwon's sentencing. As of today, the legal drama surrounding Terra's former co-founder, Do Kwon, casts a fresh, cold shadow. The news that prosecutors are seeking a significant prison sentence for his role in the collapse, with a final sentencing hearing looming, reminds everyone of the criminal allegations underpinning the project's failure. While the current LUNC and Luna 2.0 blockchains are technically separate entities, the market perception is inseparable. Every headline about Kwon's legal woes serves as a chilling reminder of the risk, the recklessness, and the regulatory scrutiny that continues to haunt the Terra name. It deters institutional investors, dampens the enthusiasm of genuine developers, and ensures that the project remains primarily a magnet for speculative, high-volatility trading rather than sustainable, fundamental growth. The sad truth is that a project cannot fully escape its past when its original architect remains embroiled in a high-profile international criminal case. Fire the community's desperate fight, is burning enough? In the face of this overwhelming darkness, the only shining light is the community of Terra Classic, LUNC, holders. These are the true believers, the crypto OGs, who refuse to let the chain die. Their efforts have been nothing short of Herculean, revolving almost entirely around one central, desperate mission, the token burn. The problem, the hyperinflated supply of LUNC, currently in the trillions, makes any significant price recovery virtually impossible. For LUNC to hit a mere $1, its market capitalization would need to exceed the value of several of the world's largest companies combined, a mathematically absurd scenario. The solution, the community, alongside major exchanges like Binance, has implemented a transaction tax burn mechanism. Billions of LUNC are systematically destroyed, or burned, reducing the circulating supply. The engaged sadness, while these efforts are impressive, hundreds of billions of LUNC burned since the collapse, the sheer scale of the supply renders them an agonizingly slow grind. It's like trying to bail out a sinking ship with a thimble. The sadness here lies in the disproportionate effort to reward. The community is pouring its heart, time, and resources into technical updates, like the recent version 2.18 chain upgrade, and massive burns, but the impact on the long-term, realistic valuation is marginal. They are fighting an economic law, hyperinflation, with emotional momentum. Chart decreasing the Luna/LUNC dichotomy, a confusing rebirth. The Terra saga has created two separate, confusing tokens, adding a layer of complexity that stifles recovery. Terra Classic, LUNC, the original, hyperinflated chain with its colossal supply and community-led burn/upgrade focus. Its price action is almost purely speculative, driven by burn announcements, social media hype, and technical momentum. Terra, Luna 2.0, the new chain, forked and launched after the collapse, without the algorithmic stablecoin UST. It was meant to be a clean slate, attracting original developers and rebuilding utility. The sad irony is that neither coin has successfully escaped the shadow of the other. LUNC's volatility and community momentum often overshadow Luna 2.0's attempt at building fundamental utility. Most of the sad news and pump-and-dump narratives cling to the LUNC brand, effectively poisoning the well for any serious institutional interest in the entire ecosystem. Luna 2.0 is a new car with the same badge that represents a catastrophic crash. The ultimate question, is it too late for Luna to change? The final answer, heartbreakingly, is yes, it is too late for Luna, LUNC, to reach its former glory, and it is perilously late for Luna 2.0 to establish meaningful dominance. The change required is not merely a technical one, it is a change in its fundamental market narrative, which remains broken. 1. The mathematical impossibility, LUNC. Unless a single, massive entity were to burn 99% of the LUNC supply, a scenario outside the realm of realistic community proposals, the token's economic recovery is capped at a minuscule fraction of a cent. The $1 dream is a siren call of speculative hope, a statistical impossibility. The change is a Sisyphean effort, with the community endlessly pushing the rock of the trillion supply problem uphill. 2. The trust deficit, Luna 2.0. The new chain, Luna 2.0, has failed to gain significant traction. Decentralized applications, dApps, and meaningful total value locked, TVL, have not returned in force. The core utility that made the original Terra so compelling, the UST stablecoin, is gone, and the trust required to build a new financial ecosystem is simply not there. Developers and users, having been burned once, are choosing newer, more stable, and less controversial Layer 1 chains. 3. The regulatory/legal risk. The ongoing legal battles of Do Kwon ensure that the Terra name remains toxic in the eyes of regulators and traditional finance. No major institution will touch a project so deeply associated with massive fraud allegations, making it impossible to transition from a speculative asset to a foundational piece of the financial system. Candle, the last flicker of hope, the enduring community. Despite the immense odds, the enduring legacy of the Terra saga is the sheer tenacity of its community. Their dedication to the version 2.18 upgrade, focused on stability and efficiency, and their commitment to the burn mechanism is an extraordinary demonstration of decentralized will. This commitment has created a new kind of project, a highly volatile, community-driven, momentum-fueled trading vehicle. It has changed from a promising financial utility to an exciting, if terrifying, speculative asset. The sadness today is the realization that this dedication is likely the only thing keeping the project alive, not a fundamental belief in its future utility. It's the mournful loyalty to a ghost. The time for LUNC to change into a safe, blue-chip crypto asset has passed. It can only continue to exist as a monument to its collapse.